All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. I'm having technical difficulties, but this is my update for Thursday, January 14th. As I'm sure you've heard by now, and as was a surprise to nobody, really, the president has been impeached by the House of Representatives for a second time. The charge, of course, being that he incited insurrection against the United States. The final vote was 232 to 197. All Democrats voted in favor of impeachment. They were joined by 10 Republicans. This was the most bipartisan impeachment vote in history. Previously, the most bipartisan impeachment vote was for Bill Clinton's impeachment in 1998, when 5 Democrats voted for his impeachment. Reportedly, Trump, who was watching his own impeachment vote on TV, said that the number of Republican votes for impeachment was not as bad as expected. But on the other hand, we have a newly elected Republican representative, Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying that she plans on filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden on his first day in office next week. I'm not going to elaborate on this other than by saying that I think this is just a way for a new member of Congress to get her name out there. I didn't know who this individual was before, but now I do. And I think this speaks to a broader point, which is that very often members of Congress do things. They introduce legislation, not because they think it'll pass, but just to send a message and or to get their name in the news. That's all. Anyway, back to Trump's impeachment. After Trump was impeached, Donald Trump released a video statement on the White House Twitter account in which he called for unity, as well as condemned the Capitol riots that happened last week. He said no true supporter of his could ever endorse political violence, disrespect law enforcement, or threaten or harass fellow Americans. Note that this is quite a change in tone and messaging from his video from last Wednesday during the Capitol attack, in which Trump, while urging the rioters to go home, said that he loved them and that they're very special. Notably, in his video statement yesterday, Trump did not specifically mention the impeachment. Of course, now the House has impeached Trump, which is to formally charge him with the impeachment offense laid out in the article of impeachment, of course. The process moves to the Senate, where a 2/3 majority would be required to actually convict Trump of the charge laid out in the article of impeachment. McConnell has said that he would not call the Senate to vote on the charge before Biden takes office, so the process in the Senate would take place after Biden becomes president. In a statement released late yesterday, Biden didn't take sides on Trump's impeachment, but indicated that he doesn't want it to be Congress's sole focus as he begins his term. He said, "I hope that the Senate leadership will find a way to deal with their constitutional responsibilities on impeachment while also working on the other urgent business of this nation." Now, in terms of stimulus, the SBA announced that tomorrow it will begin accepting applications for the second round of PPP loans, which is open to both businesses who received a first round PPP loan as well as those who did not. Just as a reminder, unlike the EIDL, the PPP loan applications are through your lender, bank, credit union, online lender, etc. But of course, probably the bigger news in terms of stimulus is that Joe Biden is expected to unveil his stimulus and economy rebuilding plans today. Earlier this week, we went over what we might expect to see in that package, but today, hopefully, we will have some more certainty. Last week, Biden aides reportedly proposed a $1.3 trillion package, but Chuck Schumer, who will soon be the Senate Majority Leader, said that he wants Biden to propose more than $1.3 trillion in the next COVID relief bill. I mean, I should definitely hope so. Think about it. The Joint Committee on Taxation said that $2,000 stimulus check would cost about $464 billion. Take that figure, subtract the $164 billion already spent for $600 stimulus checks. That leaves you with another $300 billion needed to send out that difference, which would be $1,400 stimulus checks, assuming that's what they're planning to do, right? Not send a fresh round of 2,000. So even assuming that lower number there, $300 billion, a $1.3 trillion bill would only have $1 trillion left for other things. The big ones, of course, being state and local funding and unemployment. Pelosi did not get state and local funding in the last stimulus bill, but she will certainly want to go big with state and local funding in the next one. We know that Joe Biden will attempt to work with Republicans on the next stimulus package. He wants to work in a bipartisan manner, which is smart. It would not be a good look for Biden to put some huge package together like the HEROES Act and expect that he's going to be able to batter it through Congress with such a slim majority in both houses. It would not be a good look if he attempted something like that and failed in his first major move in office. An anonymous source for Bloomberg claimed that the current thinking among those familiar with Biden's stimulus plan is that it will be able to attract at least 10 Republican senators, which would, of course, be enough to get the plan cloture in the Senate. One Republican senator, Marco Rubio, sent a letter to Biden this week urging him to support a standalone bill for $2,000 stimulus checks. Rubio wrote, "Last Wednesday was one of the darkest days in our history. All across our nation, people are looking for answers and demanding accountability, but they are also desperate for hope. Hope that political leaders in Washington can begin taking steps to heal our deeply divided nation. It would send a powerful message to the American people if, on the first day of your presidency, you called on the House and Senate to send you legislation to increase the direct economic impact payments to Americans struggling due to the pandemic from $600 to $2,000. In the description below, there is a link to the full text of the letter if you want to read it for yourself. All right, everybody, that is my update for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.